Oh.
Hey, all right.
Okay. Oh.
All right, you
Like
millennials.
Joe Rogan says, and we're live.
We're live. Hey, well, welcome to this week's TeamGrit podcast, and thank you for joining us in our never-ending quest to end pediatric cancer. That's why you're hearing our voice today, because there are still kids out there that have cancer, and we're not going to stop talking and doing what we need to do until that's not a reality anymore. So, Nolan, what do you got going on this week with Grit? How's life going?
Well, first off, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to us. That's so important. There's millions and millions of podcasts out there. So we appreciate you taking the time out of your day. Real quick, as we have decided that we're going to make our life's mission to help people battling cancer, and our primary focus here is pediatric cancer. However, we do want to help out anyone who's been bitten by this awful deal, and we've got somebody, Devin, as somebody near and dear to them that we'd like to help out and spread the word and try to help this family out. And Devin, I'll let you go.
All right. So, recently one of my friends, he told us his mother was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she just went in for the surgery last week, and it's obviously going to be a lot of money, and they don't have it. So I'll link in the description the GoFundMe for them, and anything, literally anything helps. But I realized, like, he texted us, and he was like, "What, can you guys help at all and spread the word?" And I was like, "Jake, I'm doing a podcast right now for this reason, so I will definitely let you know, and I'll link everything in the description below." But
What can they Google?
GoFundMe.
Right, but the name on the GoFundMe.
It'd be Jenna Viscomi.
Oh boy.
Well, it'll be in LinkedIn.
Okay, it's going to be linked in there. And anybody, prayer warriors, hope warriors, black magic, voodoo doctors, whatever kind of energy you can bring this family and all families going through this to attack the cancer, please do it. Send it their way, please. Thank you.
I'll head out then.
All right, thank you, Devin.
Thank you, Devin. All right, so what's cooking with you, Nolan?
Dude, couple of things. Chemotherapy last week was a success. I guess the fact that you live to fight another day is the best part about it. Like I was telling you, it went down about as expected. First day getting the NG tube down Grit's nose is pretty terrible. And they give him an aggressive steroid to fight the nausea, so it's very difficult to start the week. One thing that I don't ask for enough, and I probably should, especially during chemo weeks, is meals, because it just helps out so much. So one thing I know Grit will eat every day is some kind of spaghetti and Ella. So I culinaried up some homemade sauce and made a spaghetti bake that the family loved, and then they ate that the rest of the week, and I ate whatever. So that was good. Training, official training started. So I have started pounding the pavement in my New Balance, my Air Kawais or whatever. I don't know what they're
Air
called.
Dad shoes?
Whatever.
New
No, I
Balances?
don't have those. I see those at the gym all the time, though.
Yeah.
Usually old
You got
guys
your tube
have
socks
them on,
pulled
right?
up to your
Nope.
knees. No,
Nope.
no, that yet. Okay, good to know.
I do like them pretty simple, though, black and white. That's what they are. But I did start running, and I ran a total this week of, I ran every day. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I ran every day, at least a little bit. I think I ran a total of about, 11 or 12 miles throughout the week, a mile or two at a time. Foolishly, I started out trying to run a 7.5 minute mile. I did it. It hurt. I'm not going to do it again. Not at this weight. Fastest mile I ever ran was sub 6, 5:55. That's sub 6. So I'm like, yeah, I did that. I was 17 years old in the best shape of my life. I could do a 7.5 minute.
I couldn't do that on a skateboard going down a hill. Come on, man.
Terrible
Good idea.
idea. So We started the Charity Miles team, which airs in. Let's talk about that now, please.
Okay. So speaking of all of your miles, I actually just looked, and guess who is at the top of the leaderboard for Charity Miles?
Steve Sodergren.
No, he is not. You are one ahead of Steve with 30. Steve has 29. Nice work, Steve, because you have not felt the best and you are just getting back into it. So nice work on the 29. But Nolan, you do have the 30 as of today.
Well, good.
We have 73 members. What did we? This was just.
It was 4.
It was ridiculous. 73 members have signed on for TeamGrit through Charity Miles. We are at, again, I just looked, 415 miles that people have logged for St. Jude through TeamGrit on that app. All you got to do, download the app, Charity Miles, pick St. Jude, and get on TeamGrit. And it's really cool. I will say, as Nolan and I have figured out this week,
kiss of death.
We are a little bit competitive. Like we didn't know that before. Mm-hmm. But my mom actually messaged me after Nolan
I'm very
and
aggressive
I were
on social media.
Going back and forth, bantering on social media. My mom messaged me and was like, "Is he really serious? Like, is he like bullying you on these miles?" And I had to explain to her, "No, that's just Nolan." And it's going to be really fun. Us going back and forth on this. You have to take a rest day, is what I have read and what like going by the book on trying to do like this training. It's really hard for me because yesterday, I was hurting, my hip was hurting, my back was hurting from trying to get ahead of Nolan on the leaderboard. But by the book, I was like, okay, I'm going to take tomorrow off. It's really hard once you get in that routine of working out every day, running every day, doing something every day. I felt guilty the entire day of not getting to the gym. Now, it doesn't help when Nolan is texting me at 6 in the morning on a Saturday saying, well, I'm at the gym. I'm waiting for the gym. The lock is even frozen, but I am here. I am waiting. Are you still in bed? And I said, yeah, I actually am. Thanks for that, for making me feel bad. But what Nolan said, though, too, is Grit doesn't have a day off. Grit doesn't have a rest day from this cancer. And so maybe it's just me going and doing yoga for the day to give my legs a rest. But it's really hard not to do something when you know that Grit is every single day fighting and doing and working hard at something. So, maybe not running every day to give this old lady's hips a rest, but just keeping your body just healthy and the yoga or stretching or something is good for everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna move into yoga or something because my knee was a tad bit sore because I haven't ran until this week, and today was a rest day for me. I did 4 miles on the elliptical. That's a rest day. It's low impact, and I don't know. I just gotta go. I have to get up and sweat, and it was good. I enjoyed it, and it's fun. And I really, really, really wish my now permanent training partner, Gunnery Sergeant Matt Gant, Mr. Marine. Now I'll have to go, and it's easier to wake up because I know he's got me, and he will call me, a supreme bitch if I don't get it done. And I appreciate that. He asked me, and I thought this was pretty cool. You don't really realize how much people care about you until people start doing what they say they're going to do. And Matt's like, I'm going to work out with you in the morning. What time do you get there? And I'm like, 5. And he said, I'll see you. And, people always, I've had people offer to work out with me before, and it's still offer on people. And then, so I'm like thinking to myself, he's probably going to show up because, Marines are that way. So I'm like, I got to beat this guy to the gym. This guy's intense. He gave a we have guest speakers come speak to the football team, and he gave the most epic speech. It was very Marine Corps. That's all I'll say. It was awesome, incredible, and he got kids real jacked up, and he's got this Bible verse, and it talks about who shall I send, and he's like, send me, I'm here, send me. So that's the kind of the way this guy lives his life, and I'm like, I'm gonna beat this dude to the gym. I can take out a United States Marine.
Let me guess what happens. He slept in. He missed the workout.
It's exactly right. Nope. He was in the front stall, backed in, gritting his teeth, waiting for me, and I was like, oh shit. I'm trying to try not to curse, but I was like, uh-oh, this was a poor idea. I should not have. I should have just been like, I kind of work out here and there. I don't have a set schedule. Well, he was with me every day, and I do more than run because it's all overall health and fitness for me. We lift and do push-ups and I'm thinking, God, this Marine, he can probably do 10 million push-ups in 4 minutes and tons of sit-ups and stuff. And mentally, he's not an average human being, but physically, he's a former athlete, and he's in good shape because he has to be for his job. Former athlete, so we kind of could do everything, and man, we got after it. But I freaking loved it. I loved him pushing me, and so I had my goal for the week, because we're going to talk about goal setting in a little bit. Just a simple goal for the week was, I'm going to beat him to the gym, and I finally beat him on Friday. Took me all week. I got him. I beat him Friday, and then we pushed each other. This is literally an ass-kicking contest the whole time. And I think deep down inside he could probably really hurt me because that's what he's trained to do, But this guy's on it, man. And he's always jumping up and down the leaderboard. He's got his wife involved, and they've got employees at the gym involved. And it's been super cool. And I love it. And then he told me about this leaderboard. And I had no idea. I've been on Charity Miles like 4 or 5 days in a row. And he's like, oh, dude, you're at the top of the leaderboard. You're in 1 or 2. And I'm like, what? There's a leaderboard? And I looked at the leaderboard, and sure enough, I was like in 2nd or 3rd at that time. And Ari was ahead of me. And I was like, I wish he would have never showed me this, because I'm going to be possessed.
Yeah.
When Eric, the crazy, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. Eric Thomas, is that his name? You know what I'm talking about? He's a motivational speaker, but he's like, you have to be possessed. If you want to, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. You got to be obsessed with it. And E.T., that's his name, E.T., Eric Thomas. And that's what I am, and I'm going to my goal every day at some point every day will want to be on that leaderboard, and no days off or no rest days. I say that. Whatever. I don't care. # whatever. But that's where I'm at mentally, and I won't take days off. I'll do something every day. But for sure, until I lose another 10 or 20 pounds, my knees are going to be sore. But they're only sore when I'm sitting by myself in a private moment, feeling sorry for myself. I'll get over that crap real quick when I see grit. So.
Well, and obviously it's January. I know a lot of people, they're making those resolutions and getting to the gym, and I was the first one to bitch about people, the gym being busier and crowded or whatever. But it was, yes, it's busier, but I absolutely love to see people getting after it and out there trying. I don't care, if you make it 1 day a week, that's more than what you did before. And to me, and this leaderboard crap, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. But like for people, and I know some days a lot of people, they need to be held accountable. This is huge. A workout partner. Well, you have 73 workout partners on TeamGrit that can hold you accountable. I saw the other day, I mean, I don't know, I don't think she had been running lately, but one of my friends that I haven't seen for a while, but I absolutely adore her, posted that she was out running for Team Grit. Amanda Griffith, I'm so proud of you. That's huge. And it just said, I don't talk to her. She's not in the gym. She's not on the treadmill next to me, but she's out there doing this. And you can hold each other accountable. And I think that's huge to like keep your health goals. Is somebody is out there holding you accountable. We'll hold you accountable. Nolan's definitely holding me accountable every day, reminding me that he's above me on the leaderboard. But to me, I think it's huge motivation. It's good for me.
The fall for me is going to be unbearable. When I come tumbling down. Now, you set a pretty cool goal.
I did. Okay, well, I'm willing to talk about it, but before we move on to weightlifting stuff.
Okay.
This running business.
Okay.
So last week we have Steve Sodergren on the podcast. Phenomenal guest. And inspirational to the max. I think we could all agree that anybody that's listened to that podcast, if you haven't, check it out. It is terrific. Well, after that podcast last Sunday, just on the drive home back to Kansas City, my mind's racing, all the different things that I want to do, how I can better myself physically, mentally, all of it. And I want to say Monday, get on Facebook, and Steve had sent a message to our Facebook and just, he said the same thing. My mind hasn't shut off since I left that studio on Sunday. And Brandon, is there any way that we can get you over to the dark side to start running? And I was like, maybe. And that maybe for me is a big maybe. Like, I'm not a runner. I like to power lift. And Steve said, give it a shot. Like, why not? Like, that's now my brain started going. So I've made a doctor's appointment. I'm going to go I haven't run. Like, I'm 35 years of age as I currently sit here. And like, what if I did a half marathon with you guys? So I haven't told either of you this, but
this is a surprise to me. Yeah.
This is huge. So I started looking into the Kansas City Marathon, half marathon. You guys are in Chicago. There's so many cool marathons to run in and half marathons, and I'm considering it. So that's a big first step for me to at least give that a shot. And I've downloaded the Charity Miles app. I've had my phone in my pocket, and my steps are being recorded. I'm near dead last. But
you're on there.
I'm on there, and I should say too, it was a little challenging to find us. We are Team Grit, no space.
Yeah,
There's
all one word.
All one word. So if you find Team Space Grit, that's something else. If you see our beautiful faces on there, that's us. That's the one you want to get. So join that leaderboard.
Posting a link to in all our social media.
Yes.
What?
What charity is it under?
Oh,
it's
St. Jude.
Research. Children's Research.
ST period, and it pops right up.
Yep, you'll find that. So, I just thought maybe running a half marathon would be something I never once in my life thought that. But then other goals for me, we could maybe jump right into our goals. Also,
well, wait, I want to stop right there because I think this is important. You said you were making a doctor's appointment. Why did you do that? I know why, but I want you to explain to people why.
Well, sure. I mean, like, first and foremost, I'm sure there's lots of adults out there 35 years old or whatever it is that haven't been to a doctor since their mom and dad last took them when they were 18. That's kind of me. I don't go to the doctor very often. I don't put my health first and all of that. I started powerlifting without any sort of doctor support.
No physical or nothing, right?
Yeah, none of that. Like, what's that for?
Why do the smart thing?
Yeah, why do the smart thing?
Because you're a man, that's why.
Because I know better than medical doctors. But
she's the smart one here.
Yes.
Because
Thanks.
And wise too. Just because you know that a tomato's a fruit doesn't mean you should put it in fruit salad.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
that's pretty good.
That's write that down.
All right.
I just made that up on the spot.
All right.
No, but so I made that doctor's appointment. I'd like to go in there and say, hey, like, physical, check me out. Am I good to start training? How should I proceed here? And another thing I'm concerned with, because I mean I'm not some sort of superhuman strongman type, but I've been putting a year's worth of effort into powerlifting at this point. I've made some gains, things that I'm personally proud of. I don't know if anybody else would be that impressed with what I can do, but for me, I'm excited. But to switch your body into going from powerlifting to long distance endurance running,
Baby steps.
baby steps,
Yeah.
but it's also a huge, that's a chasm between activities. So I've been training my body one way to jump right into that other swimming pool is a whole other can of worms. So getting a doctor tagged in, I think I have an appointment on the 31st of January. I'm going to go, hey, get a physical. How do I start? And I've got a wonderful support team here, and we're all in this journey together. So that's why I'm going to the doctor, just to, I think it's a smart thing to do.
For sure. Now,
Yeah.
so if you're listening, and you're nervous and scared, that's great. If you just want to dive into the pool head first, I suggest you dive in, walking a mile first, or walking a half a mile, or do what you haven't
A mailbox
done.
at a time.
Mailbox at a time, right? Then 2, then 3. But the physical, the doctor side of it, it's important. And then you realize you've checked that one list off the top of your box, and you start worrying about nutrition and shoes. Shoes, the most important thing.
Huge.
Having good shoes. I've known that forever. My dad was a middle distance, long distance runner my whole life, triathlete. So shoes was like the one thing you need over anything else is a good pair of shoes that fit your feet. So yeah, anybody can do this. And as we're going to be called the TeamGrit Marathon Training Team on our St. Jude Marathon page, which will be live as it should be live as the time this posts on Monday. But
The
it will,
13th of January.
correct, the 13th of January. If it is possible that it won't be live until after this is posted, but by the second show on Friday and our second interview, or a part 2 interview with our guest today, Erica Souter from Baby J's Legacy of Hope, it'll be up by then, and that information will be out. And it'll be linked on all our social media, our YouTube channel. We're eventually going to get a website going. We're going to have these shirts available for sale. Anything to get the train running down the track. We just need more coal to throw on the fire, or something a little bit more environmental. Lawrence, coal's not necessary.
Well, nuclear is out because that's the word nuclear. We don't like that.
Right.
So, I don't know. Steam.
Steve,
Good vibes.
Right. Whatever.
Our train runs on good vibes. That's
Yeah,
what-
like Subarus.
Yeah.
Good vibes,
Good
right?
vibes.
So, yeah. So we've got plans, and one thing that every single one of us at this table, and Devin behind the cameras and the microphones, is we promise you every week we will get better at something. It might be something little, it might not be very much at all, it might be in half an inch, but every episode, if we get a half an inch better by the end of the year, we're 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 100 feet longer than we were before.
Yeah, well, hey, I think this is a good time here to take a break. After we get back from break, let's share our goals, and let's put a challenge out there to our listeners, to our followers, to start this journey with us, to do some goal setting, and hopefully you can keep us posted as you go on your journeys. We're curious to see what you're up to, and we'll follow you on that leaderboard as well. So after the break, we'll come back in the studio and set some goals.
Hey, before we get going, we're talking about getting better every day in here, like learn something every day, right? Well, hell, I just learned this just now. Like, the little, hey, and on.
Where'd that deal
Snap,
go?
right?
You got that?
Yeah.
That's right.
Show, what is that?
I had no idea. It's called a quackboard. I just learned that in the last 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And I learned that I thought that I could never figure out why on all those TV deals where, like action, clack. And I'm like, oh, I don't get it, but okay, that's the standard deal. Like,
You just do it.
and then it turns out there's a purpose for it. Just like most things in life, it's how they cue the sound so they can sync in all the recordings and stuff.
And if we get better ones, it'll be to see the scene so they don't have to scroll through images. Like what I did for the football videos, I'd have to scroll through and look at every single one of them. It tells you when you're like watching the preview, it has the number, what it is, and where it is. So you don't have to look at anything. You can just drop them into your timeline. Keep going.
Well, there you go. We're getting better.
Here's life.
One inch at a time.
Consistent.
Every week.
Consistent.
We're learning about all kinds of stuff.
So we're getting ready to talk about goal setting and stuff, and I won't ever, other than Devin, since he's up close and personal with this, I won't ever really talk about names of kids and students. I just don't think it's appropriate, and I won't talk about coworkers that much unless they come on here. Or, I'll tell stories, and they'll have different names, but I won't, directly, because it is what it is, and everyone feels differently about this. But so I teach a 0-hour class, and I have to be at work at 6:50 in the morning. Starts at 7 o'clock, and it's always full. Mr. Henderson's culinary 0 hour is super full. As a matter of fact, that's where Devin and I's relationship started. And I've got a lot of great kids in there, kids that have taken multiple classes, some football players, baseball players. I have a deep relationship with my kids, even the kids that don't. We have nothing in common. I just care about kids, love kids. It's important to me, which is why I'm a teacher, not because I like to teach, because truth be told, I'm not very good at that part of the job. Yeah.
No, but you're right, though. And the best part about teaching is the kids and the relationships. That's when you actually get to teach them things and they trust you.
So Sergeant Gann and I had already gotten busy for the week, and I was telling the kids about what I'm going to do. And I thought it'd be easy. Like, this is what we're doing, the podcast, check it out, follow us on social media, because they want to get involved, and, they generally like me. So before I could even, I talked about the podcast and what we're doing, and then I said, I've been working towards this goal, and now it's official. I'm going to run the St. Jude Marathon. And I'm looking at these kids in their eyes, and they're looking back at me, and life, like I said, laugh every day, cry every day. And I lost it. I'm in the waterworks, cranked on full bore. It's like that you see the cartoon fire truck hose, and, Daffy Duck can't control it. He's flinging it. And I tried turning it off, and I couldn't. And I'm choked up, and I'm crying at 7:05 in the morning, the first day back at school, and I hated every moment of it, because I hate to cry. Although I know it's healthy and that it's good for me, I still hate it. And the kids were like, well, why are you crying? And that's when it hit me. And that's where my no rest days, no days off mindset really sunk in, and the concrete hardened. Because I had already said it online. Devin had already recorded it and put it online. You guys heard me say it. My wife heard me say it. And then that's when reality hit. I just told a group of kids that I care about, and they care about me, and I might be the only person they ever met in their life that said they were going to do something huge. And then I realized, oh shit, I have to do this. There's no way out of this now. And I think what made me cry was that fear of failure. I'm so scared to death to get hurt and fail. But now I've told 180 students that I'm going to do this, and I have to hold myself accountable for them, mostly for my wife and kids and the team here. Because there's too many people in this world that say they're going to go do something, and they never even start. And I'm not going to clown on any of my kids and students and football players. But I've seen, and these are teenagers, so they get do-overs until they're adults. In my opinion, that's how I feel as an educator. Never too late for a comeback. Shout out Coach Becker. That's what he always told me. It's never too late for a comeback. Coach Becker's my head football coach, so there we go. Makes it a little bit. Too many young people get online and say, they tweet out, Instagram out a fancy picture of them with their muscles or their flippy doos and their and they say, I'm about to blow up. Y'all just can't see me yet. And then they hit send, and then they sit back down on the couch and go back to Call of Duty. And I want those kids to see the passion and what it's like, and I have to be accountable for them, for my family, for my kids, for this. And that's what got me. And the day went on, it got easier. But personal accountability. I got to be that guy. And I have to be that guy despite my own feelings, despite maybe I might hurt someone's feelings because I was a tad bit aggressive. Because there's a lot of teachers, a lot of educators, a lot of people in this business, from the feds down to rural towns, that we're role models for kids, and there's plenty of people that do lots of stuff, but I'm now going to be that guy. I'm going to be if that guy says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. That's the guy I'm going to be for the rest of my career. That's so.
That's awesome stuff, man.
I was jacked up, and I have been jacked up since. I think my kids think I'm on drugs or something, because I'm this whole different attitude. Last semester was rough, and truth be told, it was the worst semester I've ever had, for multiple reasons. I think stress, but some bad kids. Truth of the matter is, dirty dark secret is you've got the best kids that do everything right all the time, and then you've got that one kid that calls you a fucking bitch, and that he's going to beat you up, and he's going to come to your house and beat the shit out of you and your wife and kids. That happened to me about 3 weeks ago, and really nothing was done about it. So that's the stress you take home. I can't worry about that. I got to worry about now this semester. I got a great set of students, and I get to end the day with my favorite class to teach, with a bunch of kids that I've already had that are in there because they want to be. Fantastic. This is going to be a great semester. Probably the greatest semester I've ever had, which is fantastic. But I'm jacked up, dude. Jacked up.
That's terrific.
As Coach Stewart would say, I freaking bring that juice.
Bring that juice.
And kids think I am. They think I'm whacked out. And they're like,
well, you are
one girl's got to go home and be like, I like his class because it's not very hard, but God, he's nuts.
Well, should we get into this goal setting?
Just get into goal setting.
Okay. So it's the start of the new year. It's 2020, last I checked, and everyone's got their resolutions and things. But I think what you said is true, Nolan. You've got to sometimes put yourself out there until there's no failing anymore. It's so public. There's accountability, and you've got to achieve that goal. And I think goal setting's for winners. What do you think, Nolan? I mean,
well, I unfortunately was told by close, when you set goals, big goals, and they seem unachievable, you have your doubters, and unfortunately, your biggest doubters are generally people that you're close to. And, I found out over the last 10 days or so that goal setting was for the week.
for the week.
For the week.
Do tell, pray tell this.
Well,
works.
I don't get it.
Goal setting. Hell, I didn't really understand it either. I just let them talk. So, just like, people set goals, and if they don't achieve them, they set goals because they know they're not strong enough to achieve their goals. And I was kind of listening to them talk, and it was fine. I didn't say anything. Normally I'm super aggressive, but that's when I just kind of took a step back and was like, all right, because I am obsessed with this. We talked about that at the beginning of the show. I am effing possessed. I feel no pain. So when I have somebody I'm close to who, I love and would do anything for, and you hear them say that goal setting is for the week, and you just set this massive goal, and part of me is just like, whatever, F you, and then somebody else was like, well, you're super busy all the time. How are you going to do this? Your schedule's already busy enough.
Because you got a team.
Yeah, you got a team, and he's like, you've got 3 jobs, and now you're asking for a 4th, and then it turned into, well, we're going to record on Sundays, and Sundays is going to be a 6 to 10 to 12-hour day, and, oh, well, what about church? Well, I'll go to church on Saturday, or I'll go to church in my head, because truth be told, I talk to God multiple times a day. I don't necessarily have to go to a building to do it. But, and then that same person was like, it's nice to dream. And I was like, you know what? It is nice to dream. So, and then the next day, I flipped on the podcast that I listened to and listened to lovable, hilarious multi-millionaires talk about their goals for the year. So I was like, must be nice, right?
I think having those goals is important. I know lots, and to play devil's advocate, as a teacher, as a parent, and as just a human being that's been on this earth for 35 years, I've known lots of people that are dreamers, that are perfectly capable of fantasizing about wanting to get in better shape, or wanting to go get that new job, or do whatever it is that they want to do, and they put these things out there, and they are kind of just dreaming. But setting a specific concrete goal that's attainable, and then coming up with a plan to do it, and being relentless in pursuit of that goal, that's a whole other thing. I could say I want a Ferrari. That doesn't mean that one's going to appear in my driveway magically. I mean, that sounds like a heck of a goal. But I think that...
I thought your white privilege gave you a Ferrari on your 18th birthday.
I don't know about that.
Hashtag had to. Sorry about that.
Oh, man. No one's going for it already in this podcast.
I was a comedian in my last life, so not a good one, clearly.
Well, being unemployable in academia by making those jokes is I can't go there.
Edit it out.
Edit that one out. No, but for real though, I think that we can put these goals out there and dream big, but there's a lot of people, I think, that at the end of the year, when they don't reach those goals, they try to find reasons why they didn't happen that are pretty external and far away from their own accountability and their own reality. You got to get up and work. And where I see all of us at right now, I'll speak for me. I can't speak for you, but although you did just say you're like jazzed and pumped right now.
Jacked.
Because you're jacked. You just started this, and it, of course, it's new and it's familiar, and you want this. But what do you do in June when it's 110 degrees outside? You've been doing this. Your knee is a little bit achy, and it sucks now. Your running shoes are they're broken in, and they're not that new shoe smell anymore, and you're in the doldrums, and that is where I think you need this reservoir of just positivity and support and accountability to get you reinvigorated to push through that. As somebody that's in year 3 of a PhD program, that first semester I was just floating on air.
I remember.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And then you get to about that second or third semester, and no one cares anymore, and it's just all that's worn off, and you've got to dig deep and find it. Like, does this really matter to you? Does it really? Now we're into the thick of it. So I think today the purpose of today's podcast and this segment is to put those goals out there, to put out our passion today, and to say this is something we care about and we love. And maybe we could go back and re-listen to this in June when we're not feeling it so much, and we're starting to feel a little sorry for ourselves, and it's hot. Yeah, dang it, we get to get up today and go for a run or for a lift or bike or do what it is we're going to do. Some people aren't so fortunate, and we get to get out of bed and go for this run and find that passion again and that purpose. We're not just running or lifting or biking or walking for ourselves. There's a purpose bigger than us that we're doing this for as well. And it's students sometimes, or it's your own son. So
now she's watching us. I want her to see me be accountable, and I have kind of realized that sometimes I'm over the top, and she likes McDonald's because what 11-year-old wouldn't? And I'm like, I can't eat that. It's bad for you. I'm trying to lose weight. And then one day I was like, you know what? I've put in miles already. I'm going to get McDonald's and get a Dr. Pepper and share it with her. And that moment meant a lot to me. I hope it did for her. So, impact. Because I have to impact her life. If I don't, I failed. Yes, Dad. I'm waiting for one of you guys to slap us. You two shut up.
Right, low hearts to the max.
Pass it on.
Okay. So, Dad, I'm going to go first with your goals. Do you want to start with
I'd like to talk about something you talked about. So you were talking about people making goals and then making excuses for them because they didn't reach them. And I'm not going to say I'm not guilty of making excuses. I've definitely made excuses in my life, but I see it a lot in my generation because I'm around people my age a lot. And
his people. What do you
and
mean?
People my age, I see to be the worst at it. A lot of us are lazy, and they don't They like to get things paid for them. And I had a huge problem with this. My freshman year of high school is when I really started to see it, because I'd see some spoiled brat pull up in a brand new 2017 car, and I was like, what did you do for that? You didn't get to do it. You didn't have to do anything. And then you sit there and you're sitting there and you're still bitching about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have to work for my stuff, and I see you still bitching. And then they want to do something, they don't reach in. They're like, well, I couldn't do this because I had something going on. But at the end of the day, excuses don't get over the fact that you still didn't do it.
Right.
It's still not there. You can say it all you want, but you still didn't do it.
Yeah, you about to blow up. Just can't see me.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Just because you're at home.
I think I could probably do an entire podcast around the word lazy, and I'm not just talking about like sitting on the couch and not getting up and doing something physical. We'll get into that at some point, but the word lazy makes me cringe because I totally agree. There's a quote that says, "I'd rather earn it. It means more to me."
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Sorry. That's huge for me, is working hard. It does. It means more. Talking about goals. Like you said, you had a hard semester.
Oh,
and
it's terrible.
It was rough.
I was in that semester though.
I know. Some of my favorites are. I'm telling you, but it was a. Listen, I don't want to talk about school too much, but you know when one of the scrawniest kids on earth, you know, calls you an MFer and a bitch ass N-word and threatens to beat you up and your wife and your kids, and you just kind of have to sit there and take it. That's got a toll, and that happens more times than you'd think, and that's not cool. But anyway, let's not focus. But I think that's a reality that some of the parents and the people that are listening to this probably don't realize, like what teachers go through every day. And you know, we have a noble job, we have a tough job, we have an important job, but we're human too. And I think that us as teachers need to find avenues, whether it's running a marathon or doing yoga or whatever, you know, do something to not allow the stress to take. Because I came home and I was a friggin' dick and I felt terrible about it.
Let's get into our goals. What are your goals for fitness? Who wants to go first here? I mean, we all have.
I can
Okay,
start.
Devin, shoot. Knock
Go for it.
I've been I'll start with a little bit of backstory, but I was a swimmer for 8 years, and I had played football prior to that, and if anybody knows anything about swimming, it's a pretty tough sport, in my opinion, probably be one of the hardest. We were practicing 9 times a week. We had morning practice Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then practice every day after school. So, I mean, we were waking up at 4 in the morning, going to practice at 4:30, getting out at 7 o'clock. And it was just a grind, and I quit that about 2 years ago now, and I've just been going to the gym, so I've been adding muscle now at this point. I'm not staying lean, and this year especially, since I'd like to run this marathon in December. Oh yeah, I'm going to run it.
So that's
I
goal
did,
number
there
1.
you go.
Devin.
Damn it.
A marathon or a half marathon?
I'll do the marathon.
The full marathon.
I used to be a runner.
Boy,
I just
I like
told you
it.
guys this. But yeah, I mean, I used to run a lot. When I didn't have a car, I used to run to the gym. So that was my warm-up.
Well, you were going to walk here last night in the snow.
I was.
I was
You
like,
do
no.
realize that's 26 miles, right? Like that's
Oh, yeah.
insane. You guys
So,
are
and
nuts.
another thing, I don't want to brag on myself, but I am about to. So I ran a 5K. It was 2 years ago. It was in Kirksville, Missouri. But it was it was my first 5K. My uncle is a huge marathoner. He runs all across. He ran in Boston. He's a big marathoner, and he was running with me. And he told me, he was like, make sure you don't take it out too fast. I'll probably stay with them. And of course, I'd been running a long time, and I knew kind of what I was doing. And I took it out really fast, and he got logged back, and I was like 4 behind the first. And then I got in front of the last mile, got in front of the last 3 people, and I got second in the whole thing.
That's how fast was it?
17:50.
Oh, my
dang.
God.
That's insane.
I'm not training with him.
Wow.
Okay.
Nope. You just run right on ahead.
So your goal is to do the St. Jude Marathon. Is that what you're saying? Or just a marathon? this
December
year?
5th? You're going with us. I would say we're live podcasting down there.
Yeah, we're going to tape GoPros to each other's heads. Yeah, I'm sure nobody will be out.
That would help. We could live pod the whole time.
Steve's
Talk the whole
done some
time.
of
I
that
have
stuff,
enough problems just running and breathing, so there's no way I
I
can.
feel that. That's one of my biggest problems with running. I get in a bad groove, and I'll just get huge cramps. But
Dude, you're not going to work. When that day comes, you're going to see the kids and the patients. You won't feel any pain.
That's right.
You'll feel pain up to it. But
my number one goal is to stay fit, run this marathon. It'll definitely keep me in shape, and then also succeed in this. I'm devoting all my time to this now. Like, this is what
You're
like.
working really hard.
You guys
Killing it,
like.
Evan.
And you, okay, well, I mean, I'm not going to downplay that. Like, I have been working hard on this, but you're also talking about lazy. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, no, I don't go home. I get out of school at 12 o'clock every day. Like, I don't go home and sit there on TikTok for 30 minutes. I do that, okay? I get home and I want to eat some food and just watch Disney Plus, watch my Star Wars. That happens, but I definitely...
Nerds.
You, sir, are a
You
nerd.
want me talking that trash to the marathon? I'll beat you.
Hey, you worried about my trash talking? You just wrote a check for your entire school, and I don't know how many of our students listen to this, but this podcast, you said I'm going to run the marathon and screw lazy people. So you're going to have.
People who know me at school.
I'm
know
aware.
I've
That's
been-
why I like
yeah,
you.
Yeah.
That's why I enjoy it.
And to get a little more, we want to talk about school. So Mr. Anderson was at a table, let's just say he's right here. I was about 5 feet away from him at a different table with 4 people, or 3 people, and I like 2 of them. And the other one, I'm not going to say his name, but we are friends, but we
Writing a
definitely-
check right now.
we
That's what he's
definitely
doing.
Got into it every day, pretty much. And Mr. Anderson would just sit there and watch us, and he'd comment every once in a while. And he was like, "Man, you got a lot of talk for somebody your size." And I was like, "You don't know me."
Shows how it works. Those are the guys that become champs, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a heck of a goal, Devin. You're going to have to give us some weekly updates, too, on your progress towards that marathon. No doubt in any of our minds that you're going to kill it, and we're going to be your support system as you go, because there probably will be weeks or months that it's not so fun anymore to train, but we got you. We got your back.
Yeah, we're gonna see you up on the.
Charity miles?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll
we're gonna
probably
get
pass
you.
guys in like 4 days.
Ooh. There's a lot of shots fired. Man.
Yeah, how much do you want to bet? I don't have any money. I just talked about
I spent all
that.
my money on this.
Well,
We should
there-
get a shirt. We should make a shirt that's his leaderboard champ, just for us.
It's like
here.
the championship
We all
belt.
pass it around.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, that's a heck of a goal. Who wants to go next? We got
We've talked. We need to let Ari talk.
Ari,
We're talking
yes.
too much.
Ari. What are your goals for this year?
Well, obviously my biggest one is the Rock and Roll Series St. Jude Half Marathon on July 19th in Chicago. Nolan was talking earlier about how he had a crappy semester, and I 2019 was not friendly for me, for our family, and it was rough. It was one of the roughest years. Not to bitch and moan and complain, but I did. I did. I think I felt sorry for myself a little bit, and things didn't go our way, and that's okay. And there was some heartbreak. There was some loss. And I had to set some goals in order for me to refocus. I had to reset. I had to just pull the stick out and say, I'm setting a goal because I need something to focus on. And that's when I signed up, paid the fee, on the calendar, I'm doing the half. Talked earlier about like when you said, because you work out, you lift, stuff like that, and you weren't a runner. My friend Trish is going to make fun of me, and she makes fun of me every time I say it, but I was not a runner. I played softball, volleyball, growing up. Those do not involve long distances. So getting into running, it's not easy for me at all. I feel like some people probably comes a little bit easier, and
I work for it.
yeah, it
Doesn't
wasn't
sound like
easy
it.
for me. But to me, I had to set a goal. The biggest thing is the half. I have not on here publicly anywhere said that I'm going to run the marathon in December. I gotta see how this half goes. I gotta see how I feel.
But you'll be there.
I'm no spring chicken, so it hurts, but I'm gonna see how I feel. I will be there. There's no way I'm not going to be in Memphis for this. I hope I can. I don't know. I don't think that setting the goal for just the half doesn't mean that I'm failing and not doing the marathon.
Every step
With
counts.
you-
Isn't that what Steve
with
said?
you
Every step
pushing-
counts.
With you pushing charity miles, you're probably gonna talk me into doing the marathon, but we'll see.
Good.
Good. Jocko.
Jocko.
I think, to me, what's huge is what you can control. I couldn't control a lot of what was going on last year, and I have a hard time with that. It's so hard when something's out of your control, and you just have to let it go. The way, the loss, things that you lose, people that you lose, things that you want, and you cannot control it. And that was hard for me. Some things that you just have to let go, that's not gonna happen. That happened last year, and I had to let it go, and it was out of my control. This I can control. Running this, finishing it, I don't give a shit what my time is. I am not fast. Devin, seriously, 17, whatever. Oh my God, not a chance. And I don't care.
Work out with me.
I will work out with you, but that's still not going to happen. And I'm okay with that. Like, I don't care what my time is. I don't care if I'm walking across the finish line. I'm going to do it because I said I'm going to do it. Just like you said, I'm going to do this. I cannot stand laziness in like different factors of your life. But this, I will not fail. I'm not going to disappoint myself. I'm not going to disappoint this team. I'm not going to disappoint Grit. My family, my friends, I am doing this because I never thought that I could. And because it means something to me. And so when something means something to you, and there's a goal, and there's a financial goal, and there's not letting people down, not letting yourself down, that's what I needed. And I can control this. I can control whether I get my ass up in the morning and go to the gym and push through. And I can control this. I'm going to finish it. To me, right now, that's what I'm focused on is the half.
How do we get you money for that?
Well, we're going to have a link for mine. I signed up. I did the $3,000 goal just because that was one of the higher ones up there. We raised over $3,000 easy for the Ride for a Reason last March, so I don't really feel like there's any kind of way that we wouldn't make the 3,000. So I will definitely be reaching out and asking to help support me get to that goal for the half, so that we can focus on our big goal. Let's get that done. We will get a link up. We'll do updates and stuff of how we're doing that.
So speaking of, we've got some charity miles goals, which we've kind of talked about. So let's talk a little bit about that before I don't know. I guess I already said my goal. I don't need to. We as a team are going to raise $1 million by December 5th by the St. Jude Marathon. That's the goal, and to get healthier and better along the way. That's the goal. I already said that. I don't. Do I need to say anything else? I don't think I need
Sounds
to.
like pretty good goals to me. So Steve, as I said earlier, had sent a message to our Facebook page, and first of all, Steve's just a phenomenal dude.
Oh man,
Operating on a whole other level in so many ways. Just like
I bet he's on top of the leaderboard as we speak.
He
He
probably
might be.
is.
Yeah, as soon as I said that you were above him, he's out there running.
That man is something else. But he had some good ideas for goals to set for our team, and what was the cancer expression?
Yeah.
Which is what?
Yeah.
Just-
I don't know, but maybe this would be a good time as we discuss what we're going to call this and set the goal. We should try to get people to interact with us on our social media pages.
Yeah. So here's the deal with that. We've got our Instagram, we've got Twitter, and we've got Facebook. I'm not exactly sure all this trending stuff works, but we've got the hashtag TeamGrit. If you set your goal and you start, say, training for a marathon, you go run today, take a picture of that, take a picture of you slapping that stop sign or another mailbox, whatever it is, and just hashtag TeamGrit. Or you could do the running number 4 grit, lifting for grit, biking for grit, whatever it is you're doing. But if you need accountability, let us be that team for you, and let's build a community around this. So hashtag your lift and send a picture out of what you're doing or your run or whatever it is you're doing, and let's support. Does that sound like a good plan?
Yeah. Because that's the way we could look it up. And
Yeah,
I got high
come
school
together.
kids that'll help. We got a team of social media. It's at least semi-pros. So
Me.
right.
All right. Well,
Right.
let's-
One that comes with the goal is I'd like to get Spotify and Apple set up.
We're in process.
We're under review right now for Apple. So that one is literally, that'll be up.
Oh, that's why you guys were telling me not to joke about funny stuff.
What?
Well,
We're under
in
review.
between the breaks, you guys like, will you please not say that?
I didn't say anything.
Well, I know you didn't, but
Sure.
oh god dang!
Calling me out.
Right under the bus.
God, I'm gonna be picked on a lot here.
You should. You know what? I'd be impressed if you just gave Devin the middle finger right in the middle of the
I
podcast.
would too.
I'm not gonna give Devin the middle finger.
Me?
It might not be him.
Okay, and then I can't do it because I don't want to lose my job.
Nope.
I can't afford
Yeah,
that right
me
now.
too. I don't want to lose my
Okay, so
So
goals. Goals.
Okay, goals. This is cool. These are
Okay,
cool.
So, like when Steve was talking about this goal, he was talking about the cancer moonshot. It's like
Moonshot,
a phrase that, obviously moon, a little far away. So he was talking about how far away the moon is, how many miles away it is. Why couldn't we,
as a team,
as a team,
Yep.
all of you guys, get to the moon as our goal? And it is 238,855 miles to the moon. 238,855. What we were at 415 miles in a few days. There is no reason why we cannot meet this goal on Charity Miles.
Should we go to the
TeamGrit.
moon and back? Or should we go to the moon first and then decide if we want to come back?
We can just
we could
head,
get
Just
head
get to the moon?
Let's,
Okay.
maybe
let's get
Mars.
to the moon.
Elon Musk tag him in, or you just go to Mars.
I'm just thinking of Disney right there. To the moon. Love you to the moon and back
There
or
you go.
whatever.
Let's just set up shop on the moon and just
Yeah.
stay there.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Be pretty cool.
So that I think is a good goal for us, for Team Grit on Charity Miles, is 238,855 miles.
Subtract the 415. Tell everybody where we're at already.
Oh, this,
I'm not a math teacher.
415 minus 855.
So you're putting me on the spot.
Do it.
440 miles to go.
maybe we'll build a little
40. There
little
we go.
ticker there so
We
we can
could.
follow along
Yeah.
in real time.
Also,
Countdowns.
I'm working on this at school. I'm gonna get a chart to chart the kids' miles because at least of the 73 people on the team thus far, I think at least 60 of them are Free State students. It was a high number. I counted them up. So,
Awesome.
and then we've got 73, and tomorrow, if one person of that 73 tells one person and they join, then we're at 100. And damn it,
It's only
What's that,
3,000 miles per person right now with the amount of people we're on after 3 days or whatever.
We actually have 74.
Oh,
One
so
already
one
just
already
joined.
joined,
Just
right?
doing
Right.
this. Yay!
Oh, it was Devin. It was Devin. But easy. I mean, I just let's go to the moon, and then when we're there, and we have our cup of coffee or our pint of whatever, then if we decide we want to come back, let's just come back.
Let's do
So
it.
so no, I've no more. So we're not gonna post it on social media. We're just gonna say that's the goal. Moon shot to cancer.
Cancer moonshot.
Cancer
is what Steve
moonshot,
called
okay.
it. We'll come up with a little.
If you have any
a little-
suggestions of
yeah.
what to call it, tweet us at Team Grit Pod or shoot us a message on Instagram at
TeamGrit_podcast.
same thing with Facebook, and
MySpace, Pinterest, whatever else we're on.
we got a Pinterest page.
Probably not. but-
Snap it. We need a
Devin,
snapbook.
what have you been
We
doing,
need
man?
Snapbook.
Come on. Snapchat.
Snap-
We'll get on there. We'll
It's
get
snapbook, right?
Snapbook.
Snapbook.
Just wait till you get on TikTok.
Oh, TikTok.
Hey, you need a TikTok manager. Ella's all over
Yep.
I mean, I would
use
use my account. I got 500,000
She's-
views on one of my
it.
videos.
Oh my God! Don't say that, because Ella thinks that people on TikTok are actually famous.
She's
I
not
am
out there.
famous.
TikTok famous?
You should have seen the comments. People were like, "Oh, I wish I had a boyfriend like you." Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Hey, Devin says we're getting. Oh, I'm talking to Ella right now. Devin says we're gonna get a TikTok, and you and him are gonna be the
I'll manage
managers.
All
Like
right.
that? Yeah, she's smiling. She likes it.
Oh,
It's just smiling because she's just got Dr. Pepper in her mouth. Nothing to do with. She's like, you old farts don't know shit about TikTok. Oh God dang it! I'm sorry.
don't know anything.
I'm just trying to be me. That's really what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show
YouTube.
people.
This is for a good cause. Please don't demonetize us.
Yeah, you should. One of these days, when this is all over, we'll transcript our hashtag TeamGrit text group, and we'll turn that into a coffee
gosh.
table
Oh,
book.
I don't
That's
think
right.
we should do
A
that.
coffee table book. People will buy that.
Yeah, I think so
We
too.
did by last night when you two were going
Yeah,
at it
yeah.
the night before.
Hell yeah.
That's going to be a book in itself. It's just Nolan and I.
Yeah, competing.
Speaking of goal setting,
Okay,
yeah.
so goal setting for me, I've got a lot of goals for 2020. This is my last semester of my PhD program coursework. Hopefully this summer I will get my dissertation proposal in the can, and then I will be an all but dissertation PhD candidate. I mean, what it
That's
means,
a lot of letters
it's a lot of
and
words.
stuff.
It just means though that I've got one more really, really tough semester for me of coursework, and then I get into the actual hard part of my program, which is writing a dissertation. But I'm almost there. So I need to get that. My goal number one is to get through this semester, to keep up my grades, to keep being a good dad. That's always priority number one for me. So fitness wise, it's been a journey for me. I was also a big man at one point. No,
Yeah, when we first met, yeah.
I was a big kid, and it was tough for me. Actually, you were my first workout buddy. I remember going over to Genesis
When I got engaged.
Yep, when you got engaged, and shoot, we were bench pressing, and I don't think I'd lifted weights since high school football, probably, other than just here or there and whatever. But like seriously, put together a program, and I put 225s in that bench press. I'm talking 95 pounds, and I think I almost blew out my shoulder on that. And if you're 95 pounds for a guy that's as big as me, that's nothing. That's like freshmen in high school could be able to lift that if you're in PE class, and I couldn't do it. I hurt. Loading the plates on the thing was a challenge for me. But slowly but surely, as I worked my way into some sort of shape and got on my bike. I love to cycle. I got a road bike and just would ride from where I lived in about 20 miles outside of Free State High School. I'd bike in on Saturdays and go to film and bike home. And that weight slowly but surely came off. It wasn't easy. But that's where I started that fitness journey. But as I started my program, my whole job is to sit around and to think and to type and to read a lot, and it's very time consuming, and it was easy for me to lose track of my fitness goals, and the weight comes back on fairly steadily, and I needed to figure out something for me too, because I don't have 4 hours to go hop on a bike anymore to go for these insane training runs. So I really like weightlifting. I could go in the gym for 60 minutes at a time, and well, I don't know what you guys do for your training runs, but for 60 minutes is something I can do. An hour, like 2, 3, 4 times a week, and start lifting. And I found out my body responds really well to powerlifting. And that 95 pounds on my bench, which was just brutal, quickly went to I can do 135 now. And my first goal is to be able to bench 200 pounds, or to bench my body weight. At the time, I was about 200 pounds. And I achieved that goal, and I'm like, okay, well, I kind of want to get more serious about this sport. I dig it. And but not having a real roadmap towards those goals and how to get there was difficult for me. I'm somebody like, you give me something to do and I'm going to do it. So I went on my phone here. You guys got your apps for running and stuff. There's this Shaco powerlifting app. Shaco is this guy. He's a Russian, and he is. I guess in Russia they actually have PhDs in powerlifting.
I just listened to a guy that's got a PhD in kettlebell training. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I don't know these Russians.
Sometimes
Man.
Russians just make stuff
Yeah, well,
up.
they do. Most of them, they're as crooked as the sick one, as hard as the hammer that crosses it. You know what I mean? Did you say that on the podcast?
Yes, you can say it.
No, but this guy's.
This is our
nuts.
pirate ship.
This
We
is
get
our-
to steer it wherever we want
Mr.
to.
Professor Shaco, if you're listening, I apologize for that comment. You're a stronger, better man than I. But this if anybody's at home, Google this stuff. SHEIKO, Shaco. It's the most brutal powerlifting regimen you could go on. This guy is tough, but a lot of his lifters have set world records. He is, and a lot of them are probably doping too. But that's okay. That's a whole other. Well, Nolan, come on, you can talk about your stuff. I can talk about reality.
What?
The
truth?
truth
What?
is they got caught doping,
Oh,
but
wait.
these programs are brutal. So I download this app, and my total's been going up. And so my goals, this gets to my goals and where I'm at with this. I would like to, in the 3 power lifts, I've got the first is the deadlift. I'd like to be able to deadlift 500 pounds. Currently, I'm at 430. That should be easily done. It's probably my strongest lift. And this past week, I put out on our social media that I was doing some deadlift work and stuff like that. So I don't know what I was doing, 400 and some. It's pretty light work for me on that. But to get to 500 would be my goal there. Then for squat, I have bad knees. Like many people at home, it's easy to say, I got bad knees, I don't like to squat. Well, the truth is, squatting sucks. It's probably everyone's least favorite lift because it's really hard. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel good. You got weight on your back, and it hurts my neck. You get over that stuff. And I went from barely being able to do a body weight squat to, I think my current 1 rep max is pretty conservative. Estimate is about 330. I'd like to get up to 400 on that. So a 400 pound squat. And then my bench, probably my weakest lift still. I'm at about 260. I'd like to be able to do 300 pounds by the end of the year on that. So 5, 4, 3 on my deadlift, squat, and bench. I think that those are fairly conservative, reasonable goals. I'm well on my way to achieving those. Those are the least of my worries. After talking to Steve, running a half marathon, the KC marathon, I put that on my to-do list. If the doctor says everything checks out, I'm going to go. And it doesn't cost me any more than a new pair of shoes and maybe some inserts because I've got kind of flat feet. I'm willing to invest a couple $100 in that maybe and start running. The third goal I have, as I mentioned, I like to cycle. I have never done a century ride, 100 miles on a bicycle. And my alma mater, Pitt State, has the Gorilla Century at the end of the summer, beginning of fall. It's like August 30th or 31st, I think, this year. And I'd like to do a 100-mile bike ride. So if I could do August bike ride, 100 miles. October, I think, is the KC Marathon, the 17th this year. I looked it up. Half marathon, and then by the end of the year,
October 17th?
I believe it's October 17th for the KC Marathon.
Dude, stuff right in the middle of football season.
It is right square in the middle of it. So those would be my 3 goals for fitness. And then I think, for me, even though I'm busy with all the things I've mentioned, I need to find time every week to give back to community. To first and foremost, every day wake up, take care, literally fixing my own bed, taking care of my own responsibilities. But once I have those things that are immediate to me taken care of, I need to start finding a way to give back more. I haven't told any real personal stories about myself. Everybody else gets to share those. Last Sunday when Ben was here, my son, playing with Grit, Ben left his blanket at your house, Nolan, and I needed to meet Laura over at Children's Mercy, because anybody that has a kid knows that blanket's the most important thing to them when they're 3. You can't sleep, so I had to. That was first order condition that needed to be met to get that blanket picked up. So I'd never been to Children's Mercy. I've been incredibly blessed and fortunate to not ever have to go there before. And walking in that place and just seeing the joy. I know that sounds weird to say that there's a lot of joy and happiness there because this is a place where there's nothing but kids that are sick. But it was just an eye-opening experience. And I'm better for having been there to see what's going on at a place like Children's Mercy. And I can only imagine at St. Jude what that's like there. But they need help. I don't know if I'll be able to help at Children's Mercy. I looked into their process for volunteering. It's pretty rigorous.
Yeah,
and thankfully it is.
Yep, because there's so many people that want to do it.
There are. But finding that time and finding that purpose that's bigger than myself, and I put that as one of the deals on our social media with my lifting. On those last lifts on those days where it isn't so fun and you're doing a heavy, single set, whatever it is, you got to find that thing that's bigger than you, whether it's a song. I think at some point we're going to talk about our playlist and what fires us up when we're there. But for me, it's like this last rep is for somebody. And I was feeling a little sore on the bench the other day, and I thought about Grit. And literally, like what Grit's going through, it's this chemo week. That kid, like, he'd rather be playing right now, just like I'd rather be doing anything other than this. But we don't sometimes get a choice. And you've got to find that purpose bigger than yourself to get that weight off of your chest or whatever it is in life. And that weight came right up. It was the easiest rep of my set. So I challenge people that are listening to this right now to find that purpose bigger than yourself. It isn't just about you. It should be about somebody else. Make it personal and make it so that you can't fail. Because I wouldn't fail Grit. There's not a doubt in my mind. Like, I will never fail that kid. I'll never fail my own son, Ben. And
I was going to go there.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's how this goes. So put that challenge out there and then give it a purpose. Make it real. and you can't be beat. That weight will come right up. That last mile will be the easiest mile of your training run, whatever it might be. So those are my goals for the year. I've given you a few fitness goals, some personal academic goals, and then just my personal, what I'd like to do to give back for my community. So
I've got another. I do have a personal goal on top of, and this is a big one, especially. A lot of people don't know this about me. A lot of teachers and students' parents are going to find out about this. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I think it might surprise some people. So I have been chewing tobacco for almost 20 years, and my parents hate it. So my mom's probably pissed right now. She's listening to this, and my dad's probably like, can't believe you're being weak and letting something like that get you, which I appreciate him for. He's always said that. And then, but she found out that I did it. She is an Ella. She's sitting here watching us right now. And now she's starting to hang out in my space because the TV and all the cool stuff's down here. And she wants to spend time down here, which I would if I was a kid and wanted to watch TV on the big screen and have the cool adult stuff. And I basically told myself, well, when the kids find out. But then Grit got sick, and these 2 years I still kept chewing because I was so stressed. And I felt like a POS because I'm chewing tobacco. I got that 8-hour drive back and forth. I was working on my master's in educational leadership while Grit was sick at the hospital, and I'd stay up all night long, chewing. And my wife was pretty aggressive. Laura was pretty aggressive about getting me to quit, and I wanted to quit. And then finally one day, I actually think I had a lot of guilt for not quitting because she would say stuff, and I'd be like, oh, and I'd get offended. And it's weird because I really don't get offended all that much. And I realized it was guilt because I told her, okay, here's the deal. I'm going to quit right after football season. Didn't. I said, I just kept pushing it back, right? Pushing it back. And then I finally said, I'm done. January 1st. We didn't do anything for New Year's. I bought a little extra, and this is it. And I stayed up, had some soda pops, and chewed it until it was gone. And I haven't touched it since. It's only been 11, 12 days now. And if I feel something, I will chew the gum, which I don't think I'll need because I haven't needed it. One place that I didn't, Laura's like, well, just separate yourself from where you normally do it, which is in my office in the basement. And I said, no, I'm not. I am not going to let that devil beat me. I'm going to sit down there with it, and I'm going to punch it in the gut till it goes away. And I've been able to do that. And I'm not letting any demon beat me. I'm coming at you. Here's what the best part about it was. I don't know why. I don't know if this is true. I felt like that guilt was lifted. I look at Ella, and I'm just like, I love you. I've fallen more in love with my wife, which I didn't know was possible given what we've given. I'm just feeling more lovey-dovey with them. She looks more beautiful than ever before. I was trying to tell her this the other night, but Grit was crying. I don't know what Ella was doing, but I didn't get to say that to her. And I don't know if that's why, but for some reason, since all this has started, life has gotten astronomically better. And I am so grateful for it. And I can't wait to see what happens.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I if you know me, and as you're going to see, I obviously get super emotional. I'm not going to apologize for it because this is my heart right now. I have seen a major difference in just my attitude, my everyday wake up and get after it. Just because last year it was rough, but this is my purpose. This is my heart. So if I get emotional, sorry, not sorry. It's where I'm at right now, and I couldn't be happier. You just feel it when you have that purpose, when you have goals, you just feel it every day, and you don't let the little things get you down. The people or the things that you cannot control, it's gone. Mm-hmm. It's gone, and you have blinders to your goal and to your focus.
Well, that's a good note to go out on. I think, yeah, we should wrap it.
It's already done.
All right.
Okay.
What?
That's the outro. We're good.
Okay, let's
Okay.
outro this
Yeah.
sucker. And just as a quick formatting update for everybody, as long as we've got a couple extra
You should be
seconds,
good.
our plan is to keep releasing these on
Mondays and Fridays
So
for
Mondays
sure.
and
The
Fridays.
main episodes will be Mondays and Fridays.
Right.
Throughout the week, you might get segments or something
Bonus
like that.
content.
Yes,
So
definitely.
different
But
things, but-
main Monday and Friday.
So on Monday this week, as you're hearing this is our Team Grit podcast. So just the four of us are talking. We'll bring in Ella occasionally and also bring in Grit for occasional appearances. Then on Friday, we're hoping to have our guest. And this week, we have an outstanding guest. We have Nolan's wearing the shirt, Baby J's Legacy of Hope. We have Erica Souter coming in. Terrific lady. Great story to tell. Very inspirational. We're so thankful that she wants to be a part of our team, and we are also a part of her team. So look forward to that interview on Friday this week. And please bear with us as we're getting our schedule set up, and our transitions might be a little bit wonky at times. We're doing the best we can, and we're learning on the fly, and we appreciate all the feedback we've been getting. Please follow us on social media, like all of our stuff, share it with a friend. We're so grateful that people do that. And also make sure, too, if you're able to keep being so generous with your donations to all the different foundations and the different organizations we work with and for, to keep the wind in the sails there. You're helping to end pediatric cancer. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. And we're so thankful that we have you as listeners and viewers, I guess, to help us with that quest. So thank you. That's super important. So this next week, we have on Friday, we have Erica Souter. Check that out. This has been the Team Grit podcast.
We love you. Thank you.
Thank you.